the chief of the MAGA coalition, the chief strategist to the MAGA coalition, former deputy assistant to the president, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Thanks for joining us here this morning.
My pleasure. Raheem Kassam and Steve Bannon together. Will the swamp ever survive? I just don't know.
And Dr. Sebastian Gorka, come on, don't be modest now.
Sebastian, talk to you. You were down here last week at one of the rallies with Sarah Palin, really kicked this thing off. What's your assessment when you came down and talked to people? What's your assessment of what's going on in Alabama?
Oh, they get it. I mean, look, I've got a lot of guys on Twitter that are scratching their heads and saying, "What's going on with the president?" Everybody in Alabama I spoke to totally got it. They know the president's intuition is to go with Judge Moore. That's why we had that fascinating line in his speech. I think he went off script and he said, "Oh, by the way, if Luther Strange loses, I'm going to be right behind Judge Moore all the way." That tells you his instincts. Steve, you worked with him. I worked with him. He is a preternatural instinctual actor. He gets it. And the people in Alabama, look at the double-digit lead for Judge Moore. They know there's only one candidate that represents the Make America Great Again agenda. It's Judge Moore, and the other one is a swamp dweller, a 20-year lobbyist appointed by a corrupt governor who had to step down 3 months later. They know it. They know who the real candidate is.
Seb, you've been around D.C. a long time, and you've done an amazing job in national security and foreign affairs. Why are we in a situation where guys in the United States Senate just don't feel the urgency of getting on top of President Trump? I mean, you were inside and you were pushing the NSC on various interests, but on Capitol Hill, why is it a lack of urgency?
I think, look, you nailed it yesterday, and it was great to see you back in your bomber jacket, Steve. You looked far more comfortable than in the West.
Yeah, no, that suit didn't work. The suit
is that Barber? Is that Barber jacket?
No. It's American made. That's an Orvis. That's an Orvis jacket. I used to wear Barbers. I still got my old Barbers, but I went to American made a couple of years ago.
Steve, look, I always remind people what happened. I mean, tonight is November the 8th again, and we have to make it November the 8th again. The president was only accidentally the GOP candidate. He wiped the floor with 16 establishment GOP swamp dweller candidates and then beat a woman who'd spent at least $700 million on a position she thought was owed. Why is it so hard to push the swamp back? Because it's not just about the Democrats. You know it. Inside the NSC, on Capitol Hill, it's more than 20 years of uni-party establishment thinking. Look at the decision on Afghanistan, which was my reason for resigning from your office in the White House. It's just the momentum of business as usual. And people think about it. If the founding fathers had been told that we're going to have a professional class of politician that in several cases serves for more than 30 years at the public trough, they would have been horrified. So it's the inertia is massive, but you said it yesterday. This president is an unstoppable steam locomotive. We just have to help him from the outside, and the good people of Alabama have to send a message that November the 8th flame is alive and well.
Yeah, we missed you last night, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. I want to get your thoughts on all of that. You saw the speeches. You saw Nigel Farage flying 4,000 miles to give a 6-minute speech. I mean, that's dedication to the cause. You're somebody like me who has one foot either side of the Atlantic. Talk to us about this about the global nature of this fight. This is a local election for all intents and purposes that is now not just a national referendum but an international statement, an international harbinger of like Steve says, it's a referendum on who controls the United States. Is it the people? Is it the elites? Just talk to us a little bit about that and why it's so important globally. Why is the world watching this race?
What people miss, and let's think about the dynamics of last night. So you were key to the success of UKIP and Brexit. Steve yesterday talked about how he saw the trends ahead of time about the connection between Brexit and this real estate billionaire from New York. Every single thing built into the Make America Great Again platform is about one philosophical issue. And this is what everybody misses with Donald J. Trump. Whether it's the wall, whether it's the unshackling of the U.S. economy, whether it's defeating ISIS, whatever policy it's about, It's about national sovereignty. It's about the reassertion of the people's sovereignty in the face of an unaccountable political elite, whether it's Capitol Hill and the cronies, the lobbyists, the swamp dwellers, or whether it's faceless bureaucrats in Brussels. That's why I joined the MAGA coalition. That's why we're going to support the president from the outside, because it isn't demagoguery. It isn't extremism. It isn't even fundamentalism. It's about the reassertion of democracy. The will of the people must be expressed in the political system. And that's why you have Nigel Farage fly 6,000 miles to Alabama to talk about Judge Moore and why he is the MAGA choice.
Well, one last thing. What amazes me is that, the elites, on Morning Joe, they mock, the working class people that are the backbone of the Breitbart effort are on both our website and here on the radio show. But what gets me is that Raheem stands up and gives this introduction last night, and Nigel comes out. Seb, give us your thoughts on it. It just blows me away that these folks know the detail of Brexit, they know the details of what's going on in the United Kingdom, and they know the details of this populist revolt worldwide.
Yeah, look, just go back and listen to the audio of this show the last year and a half. The people who call in from across America, from the darkest, deepest Tennessee, with details about issues that you will never hear on NPR, never heard mentioned on CNN, never written about in a HuffPo Politico. That's why Donald Trump is the president. That's why I joined my PAC. Look, MAGA Coalition, check it out, MAGAcoalition.com. Think about it. The first super PAC, we're calling it the super PAC for the forgotten men and women. It's not about big business. It's not about Wall Street. It's not about the embedded political elite. It's about the average individual who said, you know what? A strong nation state is a good thing. Having my job exported to China is a bad thing. Defeating radical Islam, yes, I agree. And China is a long-term threat to us. When the average American understands that, it's time for change, and it's time for Judge Moore and the people like him to come and help the president drain the swamp here in D.C.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka, the chief strategist at the MAGA Coalition, former deputy assistant to the president, author of Defeating Jihad. You guys got to pick that up. Thank you so much for joining us here on Breitbart News Daily.
Thank you, guys. God bless you and the listeners.